Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Teaching English on Dروس Sober Goal 3 and Sober Goal 4. Before we start, I would like to welcome my colleague Mr. Fawaz Al-Aqil, the interpreter to the sign language. You know, this class is the first class in 4 classes that are considered as enrichment. What do you mean by enrichment? Enrichment in these 4 classes that are additional to the original classes, the 39 classes that we have taken before. In these 4 classes, we're going to tell you and we're going to cover some skills that you need to use in your final exam. You know that your final exam will include 7 skills, will come on most of them or all of them during these 4 classes. And every class will have 2 units. We'll cover today 2 units, Unit 6 and Unit 7 from Sober Goal 3. So we're going to cover some of the skills that you will need to apply and to know how to deal with them and how to improve in your studying in general and in your practice in the final exam. Before we start our main class, let's review the objectives that we're going to cover inshallah in this class. The first one, the students will be able to identify how the final exam will be. Also, they will be able to apply the 7 skills needed for the final exam on exercises. The students will be able to answer comprehension questions based on reading text. Next, students will be able to answer comprehension questions also, but this time based on listening skill. The next one is that the student will be able to write a short paragraph with assistance of some helping phrases and words. The students will be able to spell 10 words correctly. Also, the last one, the students will be able to identify some tips on how to speak better. This class is called, as I said before, enrichment. What do you mean by enrichment? When we divide the word, we have the main root, or the main word in this word is rich. What do you mean by rich? Rich is the one who has a lot of things, not only money, but if anything that we consider him or her having, that means he or she is rich, okay? But when we add en, we call this as a prefix, that means we are changing the word from a verb into from a noun, or sorry, from adjective into a verb. So to enrich somebody or to enrich something, that means you add things to. So when we want to make it a noun, we add also another suffix called ment. So here we changed the word into a noun. When we say rich, here that is an adjective. We describe somebody as rich. When we say enrich, that means we are using it as a verb. We add something to somebody. And when we say enrichment, that is a noun. Okay, so this class is going to be an enrichment class. Okay, what do we mean by enrichment? We mean that we are going to give you more knowledge, but that's not enough. Not enough to have knowledge, but you need to have skill. When you have a knowledge, you need to make it a skill. For example, when you read and when you listen, okay, you gain lots of skills, but this a lot of knowledge. But this is not enough. You need to make the words you know, the grammar you know, the pronunciation, the punctuation, all the skills, the knowledge that you know, you have to change it into skill. So this needs practice. Okay, you need to practice to make it better and to improve it. What are the main 4 skills that you need to improve your English? As you know that there are 4 main skills any language has, like listening, speaking, reading, and writing. But these 4 skills need other sub-skills, minor skills, to make them better. What are these skills? For example, when you listen to somebody or something, what are the skills that you gain, you get, or the knowledge that you get? You get vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. When you listen well, that means you improve these 3 sub-skills. So that when you listen very well, that will impact your ability to speak. So when you speak with good vocabulary, good grammar, and good pronunciation. When we come to the written skills that are reading and writing, also we have vocabulary. Okay, and when you improve your vocabulary in reading, you improve it also in writing. Grammar also, when you improve it in reading, you improve it in writing. Also spelling, when you read, you notice some how words are spelled, and you improve it in your spelling as an impact to this skill. Also punctuation, when you look at the full stop, how we use it, how we capitalize the first letter of a sentence, how we make a comma, and how to make a semicolon, and so on. Also the handwriting. When you read something with good handwriting or printed, that means you improve your ability to write later on. So here, listening will impact your reading. So we ask you all the time to listen as much as you can. Reading will improve your writing. So we ask you always to read if you want to be a witty writer, a good writer. Okay, so how to achieve that? By practice. So when you practice listening, when you practice reading, that will improve your skills in general. Not only the 4 main skills, but the other sub-skills that we mentioned in the previous slide. Okay, in our class today, as we said, we are going to cover 2 units, Unit 6. In this unit, you know the title of this unit, what was it like? We're going to deal with how to ask and answer about past activities, also how to describe past activities, how to express an opinion. And in Unit 7, which is under the title, What Happened? You're going to retell event, how to tell a story, or how to give a witness report, and so on. How to express feeling, how you feel, how others feel also. Also you will learn how to give reasons with why and because, how to show agreement with so and neither. Okay, in this class, as I said before, we are going to talk mainly on the skills that are going to be in your final exam, so that when you go to the final exam, you will find it easier, and it is going to be easier, inshallah. And you will answer it very well, and you will not be bothered with any question that you don't know. So you know that the final exam, according to the Ministry of Education directions, it will be in 40 marks. How these 40 marks are divided? Let's see here. The first question that you're going to have is called the guided writing. It is called the composition. It will be in 6 marks. We'll come in detail about this activity and how to deal with it. Number 2, it is going to be on reading, comprehension. You read the text and you check how the teacher asks you some questions to check how you understand or you don't. It will be also on 6 marks. Number 3, grammar. It will be in 7 marks. Number 4, vocabulary also will be in 7 marks. Spelling, which is orthography, also will be in 4 marks. Listening and speaking will not be in your final written exam. It will be in a week that is before the final exam, the final written exam. So as we said, listening will be in 5 marks and speaking will be in 5 marks, but the other written questions or skills will be in, as we said before, 5 skills. The total is 40 marks, as we said. We start with the first skill, with the first question that will be that is under the title guided writing, which is composition. It's not free writing. There is a difference between when you write freely or when you are writing guided. So guided writing is easier for you. The teacher is going to give you some hints that help you to write better. Okay, and the writing will be easier. So we'll come to some examples now. Okay, how to deal with this question? You need to look at the words that the teacher has provided to you to use in your writing. So there will be words to help you developing your writing process. Okay. Also, the teacher will sometimes give you questions. By answering the questions, you will be able also to make a paragraph, or also sometimes you can make an essay. So this is very important to consider and to know how to deal with the helping words and how to get use of them. Next, also you will have sometimes you will need to write short sentences to avoid mistakes. Writing short sentences, the sentence starts with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. That will help you to compose or to make or to write good writing. Okay, also you need to check for the words that are provided to you what part of speech these words are. Sometimes they give you an adjective, so how to use an adjective. For example, when he gives you short, tall, and you want to describe somebody, you use it as he is short, or she is short, he is tall, and so on. When you use it as a verb, sometimes when you use it as also as a noun, you know how to use these parts of speech. Also, sometimes you will need to fill in a dialogue or a conversation between two persons. When somebody says, for example, good morning, how do you answer? You say good morning. How are you? You answer, I am fine, thank you. And these are also some type of guided writing that some teachers give in final exams. Also, you need to paraphrase the title. When you start the first sentence in your guided writing, look at the title and try to paraphrase it. We'll come to some examples how to paraphrase the title. You should know that when you construct a sentence, when you build a sentence, you need to notice that the English sentence starts like this, SVO. What do you mean by SVO? Followed by a full stop. That means subject, verb, object. This is the main structure of the English sentence. I drive a car. I watch TV. Ali plays football. You notice here the three words that I mentioned in the three sentences, each one has a different kind. For example, Ali watches TV. Ali is the subject, verb watch, the TV is the object. Okay, so if you learn or if you know the part of speech, you will be able to construct sentences. How to change any noun into verb. Okay, sometimes you will need to use the verb into noun. That is a very simple thing and very easy thing. For example, you see for play football. Okay, that is play here is a verb. Play football. Play is a verb. Football is a noun, which is an object. You can use it like this. I play football. And by this, you make it a full sentence. But if you want to say that you like playing football, so you add ing, so you can change the verb into a noun by making it a gerund. So you say, I like playing football. Or you can start with that. Playing football is my hobby. So what is the trick that you made? You changed the verb into a noun. Go, going. Read, okay, that is a verb. You can change it into a noun. You say reading. This is a very important thing to consider and to use in your guided writing. Also, you will need sometimes to learn or to memorize some transitional phrases, okay, to join between sentences, to make coherence. Like, for example, when you talk, for example, as a result, you can precede a phrase like as a result, okay, and you put a comma and you write your sentence. That will help to connect sentences. Okay, now let's take an example here. Write a paragraph about this boy. You can see a boy here, and the teacher might give you some of the helping phrases or helping words, but the teacher here gives a question. If you answer these questions, you can make a paragraph, a piece of writing. So what is his name? How old is he? Where is he from? Where does he live? Okay, what is his favorite fruit? And is he a good friend? These are 5 questions. If you answer them and if you make them in a style or in a shape of a paragraph, that is going to be considered as writing. Okay, so let's try giving you an example and write it down with you so that you will learn how to deal with the helping words or with the helping questions. Okay, what is his name? You can start anyway. You can say this is, let me clear this. You can start like this. This is my friend Ali. So here you mentioned the name. So Ali is his name. And when you finish writing the first sentence, answering the first question, in this case you have to put a full stop. So I'm going to start answering the second question. Do I need to start from the very beginning, from the next line? No, I have to continue. Why? Because this is how we can write a paragraph. So Ali is my friend. How old is he? You can say he. You see here we are using a pronoun. Here we refer to whom? To Ali. Okay, he is for example, 15 years old. Or you can say he is 15 and that's enough. Okay, but you cannot say he is 15 years. Be careful about that. So here I finish the second sentence. Here, answering the second question makes a full sentence for me. He is 15 years old. Where is he from? We can say he is from Jeddah, for example. Okay, and I finish the sentence. So what do I do? I have to put a full stop. Okay, where does he live? We can say he lives with his family, for example. He lives with his family in a small house. You can add whatever you want to add. Okay, a small house, for example. Okay, so the sentence finishes here. What do I have to do? I have to put a full stop here. The next question, where does he live? Okay, where is he from? He's from Jeddah. Sorry, we answered this one here. What is his favorite fruit? We can say here, we can say his favorite fruit, his favorite fruit, what is it? Is apple, for example. He likes apple. Okay, or you can change the form of the sentence. You can say apple is his favorite fruit. Or you can say any way that you can answer the question, and with the subject, verb, and object. The next sentence, or the last sentence, or the last question here, if you answer it, that means you are going to make a conclusion. Is he a good friend? You can add that conclusion or the ending sentence by saying he is a really good friend. Okay, so here we finished writing the guided writing, how the teacher helped me in writing. He asked me or she asked me some questions, and by answering these questions I could write a paragraph. Notice here something we didn't mention. You have to make something called indentation here to indicate that you are writing a paragraph. Okay, now let's move to the next slide now with the other skill. Here we're going to go to reading, how to deal with reading. If you are going to the test, for example, or the final exam, you are going to have a passage. We don't mean by reading the ability to mention or to pronounce words. No, reading, when we say reading, that means comprehension, understanding. So you're going to have a passage, and after the passage, the teacher will give you some questions to check your understanding, your comprehension, if you understand the passage or not. Sometimes you are going to have a passage from your book that you are studying, or sometimes the teacher brings a passage from a reading passage from outside the book. But how to deal with it? You have to work on the following. When you have a reading passage, you have to know how to answer the WH question. What are the WH questions? The first one, where. When we ask where, that means we're asking about a place. When we say when, we're asking about time. So when you read a passage, for example, about a story happened to somebody or something, you have the question when here. The question here indicates that you are looking for time, whether to say a particular time of the day or a month or a year or so on. Okay, who? When you see the question here starting with who, that means the teacher is asking about a person. When the teacher asks you what, that means he's asking or she's asking about a thing. When they say why, here we are asking for a reason. You have to know how to deal with these questions. Very important, because sometimes when you mix using where with when, that means you are going to answer the questions incorrectly. Okay, how? When the teacher asks you how, that means he or she wants to know the way, the method, or something like that. Sometimes also you have some questions with how, like when you add an adjective to the question how, like how big, how small, how heavy, how light, how tall, okay, and you know how to use how many, okay, how much, okay, and all these questions mean differently if you use an adjective after how, okay. You remember in your unit 6 we studied about art of pen, Arabic calligraphy. This is one of the reading passages that you read in your book Sober Goal 3. If you read the passage and understand it, like here, you have to notice something very important. You have to read, and don't be afraid if you meet a word that you don't know. Why? Because sometimes you will meet some words that are unfamiliar to you. But through reading, you can have something called prediction. You guess the meaning of the word from the text. Sometimes the writer explains the meaning of some words. Okay, the Islamic Heritage Museum is proud to present special exhibit called Art of the Pen, and here there is an explanation to this exhibition, Arabic calligraphy. You notice here. Okay, so this is the second paragraph. Also, you know that the reading passage is divided into paragraphs, which means that each paragraph deals with a different idea. Okay, also this is the third paragraph. The fourth paragraph here, you can go back to the video that we explained before in Unit 6. And this is the fifth paragraph. And here, after reading, what do you mean? We mean here to answer the question. What is so beautiful about Arabic calligraphy? You can get the answer from the reading passage that you have read a while ago. So here, what is so beautiful about calligraphy? There are keywords, like here, beautiful. This word is a keyword, so you can go back to the reading passage and check for the word beautiful. You will find the answer there. Okay, so the answer here, it is used for writing and so on. Number 2, why did? So here, notice here, we are asking with why. So what do we want here? As we said before, here we want a reason. Why did the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, need a clear system of writing? And you can find the answer if you check for the keywords that will tell you how to answer this question. Okay, number 3, how? Here we are asking about a method. Okay, you can answer like this. And if you want to learn more about this reading passage, you can go back to the video. Now, the fourth question here is asking about where. So we mean by where here, a place. Where can you see examples of thuluth script? Okay, we can find it in Saudi Arabian flag and also in the headings of surahs. Okay, also there is a reading passage, another reading passage which is very important, very useful. I will strongly recommend you to read it. That is about how to be cool. Okay, you are a cool person, but how to be better and how to consider the characteristics or the things that make you cool. It is very useful and it will give you good advice. Okay, are you worried about your clothes? If you have these feelings about your clothes, for example, are you nervous or are you sad because someone said something about you? All these things will have some solutions in this reading passage. Read it just to learn about how to be cool and how to deal with the reading passage. Okay, these are the hints or the pieces of advice that were given in your reading passage in Unit 7. Okay, how to be cool. And also there is another kind of asking question to check comprehension, that is yes or no, and sometimes you find it as true or false. Okay, that means correct and incorrect and so on. So these are the questions. You can go back to this reading passage and you can find how you understand and you check your comprehension. Okay, and the third part is grammar. Okay, in the grammar, as we said before, you have to know how to use SVO, that is very important, and how to differentiate between the tenses. For example, when I say, when I say I drive a car, this is a sentence. So here we have I is a subject, V drive, O a car. If I say I drive a car, that means this is something happens usually. When I talk about the past, I say I drove a car. The same construction, but with changes that change the tense or the time of the sentence. I drive a car, present. I drove a car, that is the past. I am driving a car right now, that means something is happening at the moment of speaking. Okay. Also, you studied in Unit 6 the adjectives, how to make the adjective stronger. Sometimes you have the adjective big, okay, and you can make it stronger by adding an intensifier. We call it intensifier, that is very, and you know how to use very with adjective, very big. But there are some strong adjectives like enormous and huge. In this case, we cannot use very, okay? But why? Because they are already strong adjectives. The same we do with clever. We can say he is very clever, but we cannot say very with brilliant. Okay, brilliant is a strong adjective, so we don't need to add any intensifier. There are actually some intensifiers, but not very. Other ones, you have them in the list here, and if you want to learn more, you can go to Unit 7 to the grammar section. Good also, you can say very good, but you cannot use very with excellent and wonderful. Okay, also with great, you cannot use very. Fantastic, amazing, you cannot use very here. Okay, also here we can say small, small, very small. But when we want to make the adjective stronger, we can say tiny without using very. Okay, sure, if you are sure about something, okay, and you can say I'm very sure, very sure. But when you are when you want to use another adjective which is stronger than sure, you can say certain. But here we cannot use very as intensifier. Bad, you can say he's very bad, or it is very bad, and you can say it is awful. Or you can say also terrible. When you talk about the food, you can say it is tasty, or you can say very tasty. But if you like it a lot, you can say it is delicious. Okay? And also on page 55, you can apply what you learned about this on this exercise. It is exercise B on page 55. Okay, also it is very important when we talk about grammar is to learn about the irregular verbs, the past of some verbs. You know, the verbs, usually when you add ed to the verb, you get the past. For example, you say play, and you talk it in the past, talk about it in the past, say played. I play football. I played football yesterday. He wanted, for example, food. He wants food in the present. In the past, you can say he wanted, okay, and so on. You can find it on page 83, a list of irregular verbs. Like buy here, I buy my grocery every day. When I talk about the past, I say I bought my grocery yesterday. He buys groceries, and here the example in the past, he bought a grocery. So you have to learn how to use how to form the past of the verb. Okay, we move now to another part of grammar, and that is going to be in Unit 6. How to use someone, these pronouns, someone, no one, nothing, anything. We explained that in Unit 6, and you can find this very important exercise on page 59. Like here, the example, I was there, but I didn't see anything. Why did we use anything here? You can go and check for the video and check also for the unit if you read it, and you'll find the answers how to use these 4 pronouns. Okay, also how to use the verb in the past. It is very important. Like the verb be here can be used as was if it is in the past. See, we can use it as so, and so on. If it is in the negative form, not see, you can say I didn't see, or he didn't see, and so on. That is an exercise which is on page 59. In the vocabulary also, it is very important to notice how you're going to answer the questions. Sometimes you have questions like matching. You match the definition with the word, or the picture with the word. Okay, sometimes you to define, to give a definition to the word. To sometimes how to choose. You have the 2 words and you choose the right answer. Or rearrange, to unscramble. You have a sentence which has some words that are scrambled, and you unscramble them and you arrange them. Like the pictures here, these are the adjectives that we studied in Unit 6, if you remember. Happy, sad, tired, sleepy, worried, nervous, scared, and so on. And also we passed some examples like cholesterol, the word, how to define it, dairy product, how to define it, diamond also, how to define it, and how to contextualize it, how to use it in a sentence. Also the word doorknob, this is a doorknob here, you can see it. Also you can see the word carat here. What do you mean by carat when we talk about gold? And the other skill, or the 5th skill, is spelling, which is called orthography. You will see some words that have missing letters. For example, accident here. You need to fill in the missing letter writing a letter. Okay, so accident here ends with A double C, and after C is I. Okay. Also here we can have driver's license. We are missing here E. Fault, we are missing U, and so on. You can see this exercise, and you're going to have a similar exercise. And this is the last exercise. That is the last exercise or the last skill that you're going to have in your written exam. The other two skills, as we said before, are speaking and listening, which are not going to be in the final exam. So by this, we come to the end of our class. Thank you for watching, and see you inshallah in our next episode. Goodbye.